Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Monday, February 6, 2012. This is Texan TV News, a product of Texan News Service, and I am Adante Woods. In today's headlines, the New York Giants win Super Bowl 21-17. A Erath County woman sentenced to 35 years in prison for methamphetamine charge speaks out. Treasure divers hope to pounce on red cruise liner Costa Concordia. The Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo sets new attendance record. Cross Timbers Fine Art Council will host a new exhibit by a Charlton Art Group. Texans basketball ends its 17-game winning streak. And today's weather. Now today's top story, Giants top Patriots for second Super Bowl in 4 years. According to the Associated Press sports writer, Joe Kay, Eli Manning led the New York Giants to win Super Bowl 46. The Patriots painfully watched their season come to an end as the Giants whittled the time away. The Patriots had time for just one final drive, but they could not capitalize on the drive leading to their demise. An early mistake by Tom Brady led to the earliest safety in NFL history. According to the Associated Press sports writer Joe Kay, Patriots coach Bill Belichick did the math and decided on a trade-off, give up a touchdown for some time. But Belichick's plan ultimately failed, ending with Brady throwing a desperation pass into the end zone where it was just out of reach of all-pro tight end Rob Gronkowski's grasp, allowing the Giants' victory celebration to begin. In Stephenville news, according to the Empire Tribune, Amanda Kimball reports a woman sentenced to 35 years in prison speaks from inside an Erath County jail. She says she is thankful for a second chance and an opportunity to better her life. Tasha Lachey Bryant, 25, was sentenced to 35 years in prison on January 23rd for delivery of methamphetamine. Bryant, from behind a wall of glass inside of Erath County Jail, says since she's been in jail, she's sobered up and already learned her lesson. She says drugs helped her cope with loneliness and anger from a failed relationship with her common-law husband. She reached out to childhood friends who had issues with drugs. Several of those friends now face a fate similar to Bryant's. Bryant and her friends were all part of an 8-month undercover narcotics investigation that led to her arrest in August of 2011. Kimball reported District Judge Donald Jones sentenced Bryant to 35 years, but the jury wanted to give her the maximum sentence of 99 years. Bryant says she misses her family and she just wants to go home with her children. Bryant's future plans are to get her GED, take some college courses, and take some classes on parenting and marriage. In the international news, the Associated Press reports that treasure hunters can't wait to get their hands on the cargo and the contents of the sunken cruise ship Costa Concordia. The ship ran around the Tucson island of Giglio after the captain Francisco Citino veered off from his approved course, apparently to move closer to entertain passengers with a better view of the island, a common cruise ship practice. So far, 13 people are dead and 15 are missing. In the chaotic evacuation of the cruise liner, passengers and crew alike left almost everything on board, including jewels, cash, antiques, champagne, rare Bohemian crystal glassware, and thousands of artworks, including a 300-year-old woodblock print by a Japanese master. But the treasure hunters will have to wait because veteran diver Robert Marks says the ship is considered an off-limit grave as long as bodies remain inside. But when the bodies are out, he says there will be a mad dash for the valuables. He also says that the mafia even has underwater teams that specialize in going after sunken treasure. The president of the Italian company that operated the vessel said, "The ship alone is worth $590 million without all the other objects on board." According to the Italian Coast Guard, the company still legally owns the ship, but the passengers still own their sunken objects. A Coast Guard official says any treasure seekers will be breaking the law and subject to arrest, and the looted items subject to seizure. The ship remains under protection of the Italian Coast Guard, and an official said it is not possible to get close to it. In regional news, the Associated Press reports the stock show set a new attendance record for this year's Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Nearly 1.2 million people attended the event, breaking the million milestones for the first time. Not to be the only record broken, on Saturday, the grand champion steer sold for $230,000. The steer was shown by a local resident of Beeville. In university news, according to a university press release, the Tarleton Art Society is holding its first ever off-campus exhibit. The show will feature artwork by Tarleton students including paintings, drawings, photography, digital prints, mixed media, collages, and sculptures. The show at the Cross Timbers Fine Arts Council Gallery at 204 North River Boulevard runs February 4th through the 24th. Tarleton Assistant Professor Chris Ireland advises the Art Society. He says the show, called Accumulated Visions, is the first of many off-campus exhibits the organization plans to host in the coming months. Ireland says the exhibit gives student a social venue, as well as practicing preparing and setting up an exhibit. In Tarleton sports, according to tarletonsports.com, the Texan basketball team's 17-game winning streak came to an end Saturday in San Antonio at the hands of Incarnate Word. The Texans and Cardinals traded the lead back and forth, both teams not giving up. Fabian Wilson landed 6 of the first 9 points, with Chris Harrell adding a three-pointer, putting Tarleton in an early 9-0 lead. The Cardinals came back midway in the first half, pulling away with a 17-15-point lead. The Texans got the lead back 23-20 with just under 7 minutes left in the first half, only to have the Cardinals take the lead back in the last few minutes of the first half. The Cardinals began to pull away with a slight lead. The Texans did manage to out-rebound the Cardinals in the first half. Tarleton narrowed the lead to 4 points at just 34-30, with Chris Harrell landing 2 free throws. The 62-51 loss was only the second for the third-place Texans this season. Today's weather will be partly cloudy with a high of 56 degrees and a 10% chance of rain. Today's broadcasting was produced by Ida Delgado, Chris Starnes, and Matt Lonix. Our engineer was Matthew Mills. You can follow us on ustream.tv/user/Texan News Service. Don't forget to tell your friends about us and become a fan of Texan TV News on Facebook. I'm Adante Woods. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from the Tarleton State University in Stephenville, Texas.